Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Mighty Melbourne Stars podcast. Now, unfortunately, Heath couldn't be here with us today, but I am joined by Josh. How you doing today, Josh?
Yeah, I'm doing really well, thank you. Keen to get talking about the Stars.
Yep. No, it's definitely been quite a break since our last podcast. There's been a bit of limited news around the league, so it's good to finally have a few points to talk about. This podcast probably won't be as long as the normal ones, just because there is still a lack of information and news, but we're going to try our best to make this next 10 to 15 minutes entertaining. And I guess we'll crack straight into it. My first topic I wanted to talk about is the BBL announcing the draft dates. Now, the draft is going to take place a lot earlier this year on the 19th of July. And now the major change, which we'll just get straight into, is we have a fourth draft pick. Now, typically each team has three draft picks and their pre-selected player, which ours is Tom Curran. That means we only have two draft picks to use in the 1 year, but this year they've changed it and we now have a third. Josh, what do you think this means to us to just be able to add that extra depth to our roster?
Yeah, I think it's big for us. I think we can add a big potential player. Yeah, I think we can go far.
Yeah, well, I mean, you look at the internationals that we had last year, Ben Duckett, Dan Lawrence, Tom Curran, Osama Mir, just all those guys were fantastic for us. And just thinking that you're able to add one extra to the lineup, that puts us at a huge advantage. Well, it puts every team at a bigger advantage, but I think if we can choose the right players, then it's going to set us an even bigger advantage. And obviously, the lists aren't out yet because that was what we did want to talk about between us, but there's no official draft list out yet. We know the regulars will be back that nominate every year, but we're hoping for some new people and some new faces to the league as well. So I won't really ask you, Josh, too much about who you want to see, but are there any players that just off the top of your head that you'd really want to see in green in BBL 15? Because I know I'm really keen to see us take Dan Lawrence with our pick number 7, just because he's been reliable for us, and based on his availability, I'd be really interested. What do you think?
Yeah, I was just thinking in my head. I definitely want to see Dan Lawrence play a full season in the Stars. I know we've seen him play a couple of games here and there, but I want him to play a full season.
Yep, I think everybody wants him to play a full season. Just the past couple of years, we've been performing pretty badly at the starts, and he's come in around that midway point and really brought us back. And he's kind of the reason, he's one of the main reasons that we made finals last year, aside from some Glenn Maxwell masterclasses and some other clutch performances from our bowlers. But he was just consistent. He was averaging, just about 50 runs. He played 4 games for the Stars, I believe, in BBL 14, and he made a 50 in 3 out of those 4 games. So look, you can't really ask for too much better when it comes to that. But the only issue with all of these big bash players is, the other leagues that take place around the big bash. You got the ILT20. You also have a lot of test matches over the Aussie summer. So it really limits availability for guys such as Dan Lawrence and also Ben Duckett, who a lot of people have been asking if we're going to get him back. I think we'd all love to have Benny back, but unfortunately, it's very likely he'll be playing in the England um, Ashes that'll be taking place throughout December and January here in Australia. So that's unfortunate. But look, there's plenty of other options, I think, when it comes to the Big Bash draft. You got so much talent from across the globe, really. So yeah, we'll be definitely looking to target a lot of other people. I know some people have mentioned having Joe Clark back. I think that's an option. You got Nick Puran if we're looking for a keeper, but we're hoping for some domestic talent signings as well. We've already picked up Mitch Swepson in the trade period, as you all know, and Tim David is still probably the biggest free agent that we're looking to target later on this year. But we're going to move on, Josh. I'm going to get your thoughts on the T10 championship that we were speaking about with Heath the other week. What did you take away from that?
I took away a lot of positives from that, especially from our BBL players. We've seen Tom Rogers and Sam Harper, they've been at their best in the T10 tournament. And we also saw Campbell Kellaway. He was on fire.
Yep, Campbell Callaway was certainly the MVP. I didn't really get to watch a whole lot of the games, but I was able to look at the scores and kind of just analyse who was being consistent. And Campbell Callaway was just about the top scorer in majority of the games. I think they played around 7 games or so regular season and then a couple finals, and we were able to win the T10 final. And for those who don't know about this, because it hasn't been very well advertised, the T10 kind of development league is aimed at younger players who don't usually get a spot in the side of the regular Big Bash games, or some younger guys in the side who are still developing or need further development, like Tom Rogers and Sam Harper. Um, so we were able to get them in, and that just gets them a bit more experience batting under pressure. You know, a T10 game, it's very fast paced, and you have to have that high strike rate. And overall, I think Sam Harper was able to deal with that pressure quite well. He was the captain, being probably the most experienced and older guy in the group. Tom Rogers, like you said, Josh, had a couple decent knocks. I believe he top scored in 1 game, but unfortunately in the final he went for a golden duck and was also inconsistent at times. So I still have mixed thoughts on him, but we're going to have to wait and see a little bit longer. But yeah, like you mentioned, the standout was Campbell Callaway. He looked fantastic. He was striking at over 250 at one stage in the final, and I think he's got to get a spot in BBL 15. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely. I know I had mixed thoughts on Callaway throughout last year, but I think just me watching and seeing how he actually played, he's a big hitter, and I think we should definitely give him a chance.
Is there anyone else that you think should get a chance?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing a bit of Sam Elliott. He took 3 wickets, I believe, in that final.
Yeah. No, I do like that. I think the bowlers weren't focused on enough in that development side. But yeah, I think Campbell Callaway, I think it's his time. He's been knocking on the door for a couple of seasons now, and he just hasn't got that chance. You know, we've been playing our experienced guys over him, which makes sense. You know, we're obviously going to give Stoinis, Maxwell, and Cartwright a game, but we have to look to the future. In 2 seasons, they're probably all not going to be there anymore, and we need some young talent coming through. And I think Campbell Callaway is a perfect guy to lead us. You know, he can even have a bowl as well. And I think he's going to be a great leader in the future. So I definitely would be locking in a spot for him at the start of BBL 15 and getting a few games into him, even if he doesn't perform. I want to see him play at least half or 3/4 of the season. For me, I didn't really see too much of anybody else. Obviously, Sam Elliott was great, and Sam Harper. But yeah, it was just great to see that we won the championship. That's obviously great for all the boys, no matter what level they're currently playing at or who they are. It's always a great confidence booster, and it's great for the club to promote as well. So we're really proud of the boys, and we wanted to come on and congratulate them on that effort. And yeah, we don't have too much else to talk about. Josh, did you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, look, during that T10 tournament, I thought my thoughts would have changed about John Merlo, but no, unfortunately they haven't. I just still think we should definitely not give John Merlo another chance.
Yeah, no, I think we've made the right call with Merlo of just having him as an emergency. But I don't think he'll be playing um, anytime soon unless we really need him. Because yeah, he's been outperformed. Other people have been doing his role better, and it's as simple as that. So I think the only real takeaway would be Campbell Callaway. I think there's still a little bit of work to do with Tom Rogers in terms of his spot in the side in BBL 15. However, a lot of people think he should be in there. A lot of people think he shouldn't. My personal opinion is a no for right now. I just don't think he's ready for T20 level in the Big Bash. I think we have better options, and we may as well try with guys like Campbell Callaway, or potentially go for another opening batter, like we did with Ben Duckett. You know, there's plenty of guys out there, like the guys we've already mentioned, or someone like a Phil Salt, or Nick Puran. You know, guys like that. So yeah, we're gonna have to wait and see for the international draft list to come out. But the positive news is, you know, the draft is earlier, so we get all this exciting stuff out earlier for you guys. Um, there'll probably be a podcast coming out when those lists do come out. We'll be analysing them and taking you guys through who we believe will be best fit for the Stars. But for now, we've gone for about 10 minutes, and that was what we were hoping for, just because we don't have a whole lot of news to tell you guys, and we're without Heath today. So we're going to wrap it up. So thank you, Josh, for joining me on yet another episode. It's been great to have you on.
Yeah, sweet. Thank you. Thanks, guys. And yeah, go Stars.
Go Stars. I can't wait to see you guys on the next episode. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We're trying to hit 50 subscribers so we can live stream the Big Bash Draft. So tell all your friends. And yeah, thank you all for watching, and go Stars.
Sweet.
What you doing?